this is now absolutely wonderful. We've been tracking up on this beautiful cat for a little while now, and we've managed to find him with the help of our expert tracker Herbie. He picked up the fresh tracks, and then between us, we've been able to get him now, and he's just gone down. It looks like Hosana. Everybody, and welcome aboard with the afternoon bushwalk. We've been able to follow up and track Hosana, the very famous leopard that we have here on Djuma in the Greater Kruger National Park in the Sabi Sands. We got his tracks a little bit earlier, and we've managed to find him. He did run away from us a little bit, but now he's relaxed, and we're now very close to him on foot. What a wonderful experience this is. He's lying nice and flat. It seems he's relaxed quite nicely now. And we're about 25 meters away from him, so not very far, but we do have the little drainage line in between us, so he also can feel safe. But look at that beautiful camouflage that he has. If we didn't know what his tracks are like and our expert eyes to be able to spot him here in the bush, you could walk straight past him. What a beautiful cat that is. Now, Nandini, you're asking a very relevant question there. We generally let the animals tell us how far away we should be from them. And you can see his very relaxed nature. Obviously, when we do move around a little bit, he's quite sort of reactive towards that. But if he showed any sign of agitation or nervousness, we would back away. He would let us know. So he's the one that we need to watch in terms of how close we're going to get to him. But you see how relaxed he is? Well, he's relaxed with us being in this particular position. And I'm happy that we've got some dead ground in front of us. He's got cover, and so do we. So it's absolutely perfect. And, look at his behavior. He's relaxed, and so we should be too. But we just need to watch him. If his body language changes in any way, if he starts to snarl, or he puts his ears back, or he starts to wave his tail backwards and forwards, or up and down, that's when we'd start to get nervous as well. But this cat, Hosana, is very relaxed around people and around vehicles, quite habituated, but we still need to keep our distance, and we need to be careful, especially on foot. That's why we've got this dead area in between us and that cover. Perfect. And while getting in here, we listen to all the little noises of the animals, little birds giving away his presence, especially the francolin and the spurfowl, and one or two little squirrel calls. And he is looking over at us. He is aware that we are here, but he's quite relaxed. A little bit of ear flicking, that's more so to do with the flies and so on. So he's starting to move off. I'm just going to tell Herbie that he's going around that side, just so that he knows that Herbie doesn't get surprised with him coming around there too. Now, with the leopard moving off like that, when we're on foot, we're not going to chase up behind him too much. That could irritate him. And with us being on foot, we're putting both us and the animal in danger. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to let the vehicles know, and then they can come in and view him nice and closely. And that's the best way to do things from this particular point. You never follow up on predators, elephants, or any other animals like that, especially if they start walking away. You don't chase up behind them. So that was fantastic, everybody. My heart is racing because it was so amazing. And that's it. Let's head on over to Brent, who's got a leopard on the hunt. Well, everyone, yes, we are still with the little chief. He's just moved off a little bit into the grass, and he's just hiding himself a little bit. So we've given ourselves a little bit of space, and we're just having a last quick view on him. I'm sure you can see him nice and clearly there. and he's still quite relaxed. But there's some vehicles that are going to come in now and that are going to view him nice and closely, because he is a little bit more relaxed around vehicles. When people on foot, it's a little bit more difficult because he'll react quicker to us, and we obviously don't want to put his life in danger or ours. So as much as he is relaxed around us, we need to be very careful. Because, his mood might change from minute to minute. And the little chief is a wonderful cat, but we just need to respect his space as well. That's of utmost importance. So, yes, Herbie, the master tracker. Well done, Herbie. I'm so stoked that we managed to find him. And it's a team effort, eh? Both of us have done it, but without Herbie, I don't think we would have found him. He knows these cats so well. He knows their habits, and he knows where they move and groove. And I'm still learning the particular habits of these cats. I know leopard in general. Now, it's probably quite difficult for you to see him in the grass there. So I think we're going to let the vehicles come in, get a better view for us. Maybe Taylor will come in. He's gone nice and flat there. So we'll let her know where he is, and maybe she'll come in and have a better view. Speaking of Taylor, let's head on over to her and see how she's going. Wow, everyone, yes, we are still with the little chief. He's just moved off a little bit into the grass, and he's just hiding himself a little bit. So we've given ourselves a little bit of space, and we're just having a last quick view on him. I'm sure you can see him nice and clearly there. And he's still quite relaxed. But there's some vehicles that are going to come in now and that are going to view him nice and closely, because he is a little bit more relaxed around vehicles. When people on foot, it's a little bit more difficult because he'll react quicker to us, and we obviously don't want to put his life in danger or ours. So as much as he is relaxed around us, we need to be very careful. Because his mood might change from minute to minute. And the little chief is a wonderful cat, but we just need to respect his space as well. That's of utmost importance. So, yes, Herbie, the master tracker. Well done, Herbie. I'm so stoked that we managed to find him. And it's a team effort, eh? Both of us have done it, but without Herbie, I don't think we would have found him. He knows these cats so well. He knows their habits, and he knows where they move and groove. And I'm still learning the particular habits of these cats. I know leopard in general. Now, it's probably quite difficult for you to see him in the grass there. So I think we're going to let the vehicles come in, get a better view for us. Maybe Taylor will come in. He's gone nice and flat there. So we'll let her know where he is, and maybe she'll come in and have a better view. Speaking of Taylor, let's head on over to her and see how she's going.
Well, we're playing a game of reverse as Hosana walks, because he's now on the move. So I'm just going to let him move past. I'm just watching him. I'll look at y'all in a minute. Just going to turn here. There he goes. Good boy. Right, let me go all the way back. And he's going on the Muluati. Now, Hosana, of course, we saw him grooming his paws, and he's doing nice yawns for us. And he seems to look after himself fairly well. I'm sure you all agree with that. Now, you did say straw head. There are, of course, at times when leopards won't keep themselves, well, in mint condition. We saw that with Tingana when he was feeling a little bit under the weather. So you can imagine, as he's trying to strengthen up again with eating, well, for trying to find a decent meal to eat, he let his coat sort of, well, he basically was neglecting it slightly. But Hosana seems to be well groomed all the time. Even when he's walking in the wet grass, he'll stop frequently and groom himself. Although Tingana is starting to look a lot better now, so he must be feeling a little bit better. I am going to talk to people on the radio, but I can't hear what they're saying. The stations, I'm having an issue with my Game Drive radio. I don't have any volume, but just an update. Hosana is now mobile north in the Mulwati from his last position. I think Johan will be rejoining the sighting. There's just one unlock for the moment, but there's another space for another vehicle. There we go, just quickly updating everybody. But off he goes. Isn't that beautiful? Especially watching him move that very, very white sand. It'll be quite nice to see what he does, what he gets up to. He looks like he needs a decent meal, so perhaps he'll be keeping an ear out for any nyala or bushbuck. Sammy Jane, yes, I have seen a sick leopard before, I suppose. There was this leopard named Warthog Wallow, and six-toed, sorry, I didn't hear that very well. No, I've never seen a six-toed leopard before, I can't say. Sammy Jane, whenever we look at their paw prints on the ground, they've of course got 4 toes. However, lions and leopards do have a dew claw too, but unfortunately that is not visible in the track. Let me catch up to him a little bit because he's got quite far away, as you can see. So, yeah, no, I can't say that I've ever seen a six-toed leopard before. That'd be quite interesting, though. And I think Hukumori's got the most interesting tracks I've seen with a leopard, with his sort of long back toes that seem to drag a little bit in the sand. They make for very interesting tracks. I'm just going to shoot up a little bit ahead. We will stop again and watch him. That's what the beautiful thing about the Mulwati is that it is fairly open. We are going to get to some points where we sort of meander around. We're going to get to a section where there are going to be lots of gremlins too, but we will deal with that once we get there. Maybe he's actually going to turn off to the left now, which will lead us up to Spaghetti Junction. Let me give that update. He's just coming up to Spaghetti Junction now. I'm not quite sure if he's going to go towards Battalier Road or if he's... here we go, Johan, you'll get him his visual now. Right, so just like a house cat, you see then, it seemed as though he's dug himself a little hole in the ground. And I don't know what he did there, if he just urinated, or perhaps he dropped off something a little bit larger. Well, he didn't seem to scrape it closed, which is normally what the house cats will do. Come on, boy, why don't you go up towards Chele Pan and have a nice drink of water for us? Yeah, I'm just going to carry on. Very cool, though, hey? What an awesome afternoon. Off we go. Leaving beautiful paw prints in the ground. I'm going to drive over them so nobody gets confused tomorrow morning. Right, we're going to try and navigate around, and hopefully Hosana will do what we've asked him to do, but off you go, back to Ralph, who's not too far away. Severe, I don't know where Hosana's gone. I've been trying to sit quietly and listen if we can hear him. I'm just going to go forward towards the edge of the drainage now. So he's slunk away. He's obviously hugging the drainage for a reason. He wants to eat something. He wants to find something that he could potentially catch and eat. Did you go in here, young man? I don't know. Catherine, I quite like that a question about me thinking if Hosana takes us on trips for his entertainment. Yes, I think he's the kind of cat that would have a sense of humour. So I was just checking here. And I think that's probably why he's done this. He's gone, let's just test Taylor's off-roading skills this afternoon. Ow. I'm just going to go back. I'm going to go back to sort of where we were, because I don't know if I don't actually know where he's gone now. We could have lost him quite easily. I ducked through the little drainage. Obviously, we're quite lucky with these nimble cars. Johan's got a much longer vehicle, so he's not able to do the off-roading, or the efficient off-roading that we can do in these cars. So I thought I'd jump ahead, and then he was going to try and keep view. I also don't have radio comm, so I don't know if he said that he can see him again. I'll have to go, caw, caw, and then maybe he'll go, and respond, and then I'll know that we've seen one another, but we saw him slinking this way. Let's move the Tamboti tree. I'm going to go down through this little dip again. I'm just going very slowly to see if I can see him. He's a sneaky fella, this. But why would you? Why would you want to drive them? Or if you were An animal that could slink through and take like the secret paths. That's what I'd be doing. And we're going to keep digging around here and see if we can find him. I'm sure he's somewhere. Anyways, off we go back to Brain 2, who's actually got a view of his leopard. Nice view of him, but he's on the move. He's moving quickly. So I'm just going to jump over here. And we'll stop. And we'll watch him move. Off he goes. And then we'll take the next gap. Just dropping my head. Here you go. Tail up in the air. Are you going to scent mark against the tree? No, not yet. He's looking lean. I think it's the leanest we've seen him for a while, but don't worry. You never know when he might get his next meal. But let's jump up ahead again before he disappears once more. We don't want that to happen, that's for sure. I don't know why I sometimes sound like Dr. Zeus when I rhyme, hey? When I say things like that, it's a little bit silly. There's the very unhappy birds. Please drink from this pan, Hosana. There we go. Yes, now this is what we wanted. I'm just calling Johan quickly because I know he would appreciate a photographic moment like what we've got here. Hosana lapping up some delicious, refreshing cold water. You can just hear he's just navigating, trying to get into a very good spot. I'm envious of him right now. So, Kirsten, please, may I have that question again? I know I remember it, but I've forgotten it at the same time. Oh, there we go. Now, Dave, they've got an incredible sense of hearing. It also depends on things like wind direction that will aid something like hearing sound quite far off. And, I mean, sometimes we sit hundreds of meters away. We don't even know that a vehicle is arriving the site, and we've called them in. You know that they might be 3 or 4 roads away, and you often see the cats prick their heads up already listening. And then just a few moments later, or a couple of minutes later, a vehicle will arrive. And sometimes you'll see them also pricking their ears up, and you're sitting dead quiet and you don't say a word because you want to hear what they're hearing. And you have no idea. You can't hear a sound. You can just hear birds tweeting. They may hear an impala snorting in the far distance. They could hear something like another leopard soaring a little way away. But exactly how far a leopard can hear away, I'm not exactly sure. But it would be definitely, I would say, a couple of 100 meters, maybe even up to about 1 kilometer. Obviously, if it's a leopard soaring, that's going to be a bit different, but sort of maybe a subtle sound. I'm not sure. Here he comes, right in front of the car. That's me. There's the hood of the car. But you can just see all the tire that's on top. How cool is that? So relaxed, not even glancing back at us. And now back onto the road, the easiest place to walk. And he's heading straight along Twin Dams Road now. Just very, very gradual pace, going back towards Voyatella Dam. Maybe he's going to try his luck with all those impala that head up to a quarantine, which are open plains behind camp, and try his luck there. And perhaps he's going to hop into the lodge and see if he can catch an Inyala at Voyatella or Gallagher. But first, something on the ground that's caught his eye. I just want to reposition Darby very quickly just so I can give these guys a better view. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull off the road just slightly. And them head though as well so they can get a good view. There we go. We'll just watch him before he disappears around the corner. Just shuffle out the way for you. But that's amazing. There he goes. So I know there are some technical gremlins in this little drainage dip where he's heading to now. So we're going to let Johan go first and keep up with him, and then we'll make our move in next. Very cool. So walking on the road seems to be a trend this afternoon because that's exactly where Shidulu is.